Yay. Okay. Welcome officially, everybody, to our Wednesday night Zoom. I'm so excited. Tonight I have a very special guest, and the moment she came into this business, I knew this chick was going to be a crazy rock star, and she has just continued to prove herself over and over and over again. She inspires me every single day. And if you're lucky enough to be on her team, or whether you're just a sideline and you're being inspired by her, I hope that you guys are just ready to just soak all of her up and just be motivated from her. So without any further ado, Miss Lauren Ravan is a triple diamond, and I'm excited to have you on here. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. And you guys, she made me sound way more exciting and better than I am in real life. So if we connect in real life, don't be disappointed. Um, but I am just so honored to be here, to be on this team, and excited. I hope that something that I shared tonight, connects with someone's heart or their story and is able to encourage you in some way. So thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. I look forward to doing these and looking forward to doing these for our teams, because I know that 2019 is going to be amazing. So you guys, whether you're brand new or you've been in for a little bit, buckle your seatbelts, because we are in for a ride for this year. I'm here to tell you. So, all right, Lauren, I want you to introduce yourself. Just kind of tell everybody who you are, where you're from, how long you've been in, and whatnot.
Sure. So this March, the end of March, will be my 2-year anniversary. So I have no choice but to promote to Pres by then, right? No, it'll be my 2-year anniversary with the business. And my story in a nutshell, I was the girl who said, no way, no how, not now, not ever. I mocked the products. I was very ignorant. I was very prideful, and I really just never took the time to truly understand the value or the business model of an MLM, or took the time to look at the value of our products. But it's just like we coach our teams and tell them, someone's life can change like that, and their perspective can change like that. So fast forward into, let's see, I probably first heard about the products, I don't know, more than 4 years ago, but completely ignored it, rolled my eyes, blocked distributors. And then
So it's safe to say that you were a hater.
Yeah. I think I could have hosted meetings for the haters, could have led them, absolutely mocked it. Yeah. And so, but I had heard about the cleanse. I had a weight loss journey myself. I lost 90 pounds, and I was one of those people that was like, you don't need supplements. You don't need any aid. You can just watch what you eat and move more. And, that's really easy to say when you're 20 and before you have children and your life changes. But, I was ignorant. I was really ignorant. But anyway, fast forward, I wanted to try one of our products. It was the cleanse, and I didn't even realize it was necessarily an It Works product until I Googled it. And there was this one girl that I used to, I taught at her Zumba studio, and it was Dee Brooks. And I had to unblock her to message her to ask about this product, because I thought, okay, I remember how ridiculously consistent she was. If anybody's going to know this, she will, and she'll tell me the truth. Well, what she didn't know, and it's funny because, y'all, I don't know if Dee's even on here tonight, but I don't think Dee's afraid to talk to anyone, but she had never talked to me about the products or the business opportunity. And she talks now about how she didn't think I needed it, because on the outside, our life looked fine. We were in the same house. We were in the same cars. I was wearing the same clothes. It looked like I had a booming baking business. I was baking at the time. And although I was really busy, we could not make ends meet. I heard an analogy the other day. Our ends could not even high five, y'all. We were living on credit cards, groceries, gas. And even then we would have to kind of rob Peter to pay Paul, paying payments late. But it was all on the inside. On the outside, not a lot of people knew how bad we were struggling outside of our close family. And then also on top of that, I was working about 80 hours a week baking in our home, and I worked an overnight every single Friday night. Overnight. And I don't mean like a 24-hour stretch. It was more than that. It was like 30 plus hours as I would work over into getting all the orders done. But that was the only way we could it was kind of like how Chrissy always says, when you're a hairdresser, someone has to be in your chair. Well, when you're a baker, something has to be in your oven for you to be making money. And I would never turn down an order because that's how desperate we were. Anyway, I wanted to try the cleanse, y'all. We couldn't afford it. I did what people do. I ghosted Dee. I wasn't going to say anything. I sure as heck wasn't going to tell her I couldn't afford it. But she came back, and that's when she asked a question that changed my life. And I always tell people, write this down, y'all, because it's a bomb follow-up question. But she said, I just wanted to be sure, were you interested in trying the product as a customer? Or are you interested in trying the product and making some money as a distributor? Now, if you had asked me 30 minutes before that, I still would have said, no way, no how, you're crazy. But there's really no other way to explain it other than like God in that moment, because everything that I was afraid of that the company maybe would be, or even if I did think it was a scam, even if I didn't think it would work, we were at like rock bottom of desperation. And we're to the point where we were talking about, okay, maybe Jake could drive Uber or get a part-time job at Home Depot, because I didn't have time to get a part-time job. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a way that I could have a part-time job and still like be able to bake for our family. And even then I wasn't thinking like part-time job to make extra significant income, or that I could like quit what I was doing. It was enough to buy the cleanse. Like that was the goal. I was like, sweet, maybe I can make enough money to be able to buy the cleanse. We didn't have a product credit when I started. It was $99 that we didn't have. It was on a credit card. I'm not advocating that. I'm just being honest, because I want you guys to know how my brain worked, because my husband was in Vegas on a business trip, and he's a financial analyst, and he was one of those husbands, he still was a financial analyst. He gets like text notifications every time a card's swiped. Anybody else have a husband like that? So like I would, if anything swiped, he'd be like, did you just spend $4 at the gas station? You know? So I was like, okay, Jake is going to be awake in like 3 hours. I need to have a plan in place for how I'm going to explain this and, you know, what's going to happen here. Well, so she had said you get these 4 wraps in the kit. You guys, I had never tried a wrap. Remember, I like just made fun of it. But she was like, you can sell the wrap. And this was my train of thought in that moment. And again, this was God, because it wasn't like I was Gandhi and had this great epiphany or something. But I thought for a minute. I Googled the company. Can you guys tell I like Google? But I Googled the company, and I was like, okay, they're 17 years old. They're debt-free. They say they love Jesus. These look like normal people. If we're in this many countries and we're 17 years old and we're debt-free and this is a family, something must be working. And that was what I needed. That was enough faith for me to go and share this product. Because I had 10 years of retail experience. And, you know, a lot of times people will say things like, well, I want to try the products before I promote them. And if you were like that, then you do you, boo. But you guys, I worked in retail stores, and we hired employees every day who had never tried on a pair of jeans. Mm-hmm. And it's no different. And so that's the same kind of concept that I use, even when I'm talking to potentials now. Something is working, you guys. And that's what I did. I sold my 4 wraps immediately that day on social media. By the time I got Jake on the phone, I had not sold all 4, but you better believe that I had a plan, and I had figured out the income chart. eSuite was down at that time. There were no training videos. I didn't know what I didn't know, but I knew I had Google and I knew I had YouTube. And Dee told me to get to 5,000 friends on social media. That was my guidance. And I saw on the income chart that I could make $230 as an executive. And that's when I began to dream, because God, it gets me like emotional every time. But I can remember being on the phone with Jake and saying, oh my God, can you imagine? He's looking at me, don't look at me. Can you imagine what $230 would do for us? And this is funny, but I was like, that would mean I could make like 5 less cakes. Like that was how I broke it down to him, because that was time. that was time. And I thought if I could make 5 less cakes, then maybe I could sleep on Fridays. And that would be amazing. Isn't that crazy? But on the outside, someone thought that I didn't need the opportunity. And I hope I never forget what it felt like that day and in that moment, because I know how many other people are out there in the world right now, you guys, that look like they don't need this, and they do. Like $230 could radically change their life. So fast forward, I didn't know what the steps to success were. Jake actually Googled that and found that out one day when he was at Michelin. I knew what the income chart looked like, but I didn't know what charts looked like. And I think that's what made me so successful in the beginning, because I didn't have this like number of like, oh, okay, I need this much volume, or I need this many people. All I had was my best. And so that's what I was committed to. I was committed to giving my best every single day. And the first training that I ever listened to, it was an Eric Worre training. It wasn't an It Works training. I just Googled, right? And it was about a hundreds list, which it's funny because I'm like, man, why didn't I totally use my Facebook list or my phone? But it didn't matter. I just wrote down my list with 100 people's names. Actually enrolled the 98th person from that list as a distributor on our team this week. But okay, remember that number, 98, right? So I wrote down 100 people that I was going to reach out to, and I gave them like my whole life story with about 14 paragraphs. And guess what? Every single one of them ignored me and told me no. Every single one of them. For the first 3 weeks in the business. Now, not customers, these are potential distributors, okay? So for my first 3 weeks in the business. Well, by the 3rd week in the business, we'd gotten our tax return and I could enroll Jake. So I enrolled my first distributor, and it was my husband. That same night, I enrolled my second distributor, and to this day, she's still on commission hold. Never logged in. All right, so that was 3 weeks into the business. But on my 39th day, I went diamond, and we earned a $10,000 bonus. And like, here it goes again. And life changed. Life changed the moment that I said yes. I think everyone's life changes the moment that they say yes, if they allow it to. But in that moment, when that happened, I think we actually started to dream again. I wrote a post before that we were living in such a state of survival. The dream was to survive. Like that was the plan. That was, if we could just get through. Anything beyond that just seemed insane, right? But in that moment was when we promoted to diamond, and we were like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna go double diamond, and let's create a dream board. And we did that together as a family, and the rest is history. So the next month I went double diamond. My husband's account went diamond. A year later, I went triple diamond. This month, I'm going to claim it, speak it, and receive it. Jake's account is going triple diamond. And next month, we're going presidential. So I'm sweating already saying that, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to speak it and receive it. So that's our story. I know it was long and rambling, but.
Oh my God, that's so good. You guys, that was full of amazing golden like nuggets. If you got any aha moment whatsoever in her little bit of a story, add it to the chat. Let's put those aha moments out there. If you have any questions during this, like also utilize that chat. But golly, she was a hater from the gates. She blocked people, but she knew who to go to because Dee was consistent with her business. God, don't count anybody out, you guys, and just be consistent. I love it. I just so love your story. So it's very easy to see, from or to hear, I guess, from, listening to your story, Lauren, is that obviously it has changed. Life has changed since you said yes to It Works. And we know you were struggling in the beginning. And I love your quote right there. Our dream was just to survive. So, taking a look back, like what has It Works done for you, reaching almost 2 years?
Oh gosh. So much. So aside from allowing me to stop baking, it was more income than I had ever made with 10 years in retail experience. And a little bit about that. I know one of the questions was what I did before. And I think that this is kind of an important part of my story, because I think some people think they're comparing apples to apples, and what they didn't see the 10 years before the 1 year of success. They think, well, she went diamond in 39 days. Why can't I? It may have been the 10 years before that propelled me there. Does that make sense to everybody? So before that, though, I worked in retail, and you guys, like, I loved my job, and I had an opportunity to work in 2 really cool positions. I was a new store opener for Aerie by American Eagle, and then I was a talent scout for Gap, and I loved my job. But someone else was raising my daughter. I missed the first time she walked. I missed the first time that she talked. She cried for my mom instead of me. I missed so much. And when Jake and I got married, she was getting ready to start 4K, and I was the breadwinner at that time. But I had been teaching fitness classes for D, and their studio was closing, and I thought, well, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can start a fitness studio. And we took a huge leap of faith. Every ounce of savings and money that we took out a business loan. You guys think $99 is a lot? I said yes to that with no problem, because I knew how much we had put into our other businesses. And so I said, yes, let's do it. Let's be crazy. He kept his full-time job. We opened a group fitness studio. The first 2 months that we were in that studio, the floors flooded, and we opened a second location. So I want you guys to know how much financial struggle we were in. Opened a second location, paid to break the lease of that one. Both we renovated. And after a year, not only did the studio start struggling, but I got really sick. I got sick with mono, and guess how amazing a fitness instructor is with mono? Not great, right? So it was just like one thing after another was happening to us. And all these people think often that baking was like a dream of mine. And no, like, not at all, you guys. I had never done anything close to professional baking. I was 100% self-taught, but I was determined to find a job that I could do at home with my family, because I was never going to leave my baby again. So, like, that's how ignorant I was to our business world. But I want people to know, like, that I was a figure outer, but we were beyond swimming in debt. But I will tell you now, well, Jake will tell you, because I just am horrible with numbers, down to the dollar and penny. How much is left? 45,000
587
and 83 cents.
Yep.
Yes. And 83 cents. And when he goes to Sheffield and I go presidential, that'll be $50,000 in bonuses, and we'll have debt. The goal is to have it paid off in the next 6 months. So aggressively pursuing that. So going from living on credit cards to paying it all off. It works. Has completely changed our life. I retired my husband. I see our daughter now more than ever. We see our family now more than ever. We're happier people. We have a better marriage. Everything. Our faith has grown. It's incredible.
It is incredible. I'm just so proud of you. And again, guys, keep utilizing this chat. If you have any questions throughout the Zoom, definitely feel free to ask. All right, Lauren. So, after being in the business for 2 years, I think it's safe to say that mindset obviously plays a role in how well we do, how fast we promote, what our business looks like. Well, would you agree with me? Like, what do you think, like, mindset has to do with your business?
Oh my gosh, 99%. I saw in the chat, Lauren wrote, ignorance on fire is my favorite phase of the business. And you know what? I think that we should really aggressively strive to stay as ignorant as we possibly can, because the reason I was so successful in the beginning, you guys, is because I didn't know that wasn't normal. I didn't know people didn't do that. I thought, this is my job. The way that we get paid is to enroll loyal customers and distributors. I can remember, Dee probably thought it was crazy. My first day, I sent her like my goals. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to message my 100 people, and I'm going to enroll a loyal customer every day. And she was probably like, oh, you're so crazy. But I thought that was normal. Like, I didn't know that that wasn't normal. And so that's what I was committed to. I was like, okay, I think that this will be my best, and whatever that takes. And I can remember the first time I ever talked to you, you said, Lauren, how did you do it? And I said, whatever it takes, whatever it took. And we still very much live in that world now. And in regards to being ignorant in mindset, I think they say it's 80-20, but I think it's more, because what's hard is what you tell yourself is hard. What's uncomfortable is what you allow to make you feel uncomfortable. When you're feeling defeated, it's almost always because you're looking left and right, not forward. Because if we had no clue, like true blinders on, I want you guys to think about that for a minute. I mean, even from positive influences of seeing their social media or being able to see LC counts or see their volume or whatever it is, like it could be something that is a positive thing. But if you didn't even know it was there, you had no clue, how would you feel? You probably would feel really good if you were giving your best every single day. You'd be like, yeah, I did my 6 list. I added 15 people. You would feel really good about your 15 people if that was your best, unless you saw Susie Q or Alicia or Chrissy and they were like, well, I added 150 today. Now, I'm not saying that there's no value in a worthy rival, as Cami says, because I do think that it does show like there's potential for this. But when I find myself struggling with my mindset, it's because I'm comparing my best to someone else's, and that's just not fair. It's not fair in a business like this. It's not fair in life. So I think that don't look right and left, and what you think is hard will be hard. Mm-hmm. And what you think is uncomfortable will be uncomfortable. So it's all about what you tell yourself.
Amen, sister. I love it. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Are you guys ready for some good tips and some advice from her? Yeah, let's do this thing. Okay, so we know that mindset matters in your business. Like we know that, waking up every morning and saying, I am amazing at this business and I'm going to enroll a loyal customer, whatever it might be. Like mindset matters. But there also comes a point in time where you're going to have to put in the work, right? Mm-hmm. Like you got to move your feet in order to see the results. So besides saying, you know what, just go work. Like besides saying just that, what advice do you have for our team who are on here tonight who are thinking, what can I do to go out and rock my business?
So I'm talking a lot about personal best lately. And I think that it's really important. First, like you got to identify what you want out of this. So whatever that like first goal is, I always tell people like, what is the bare minimum that you joined this for? What would be this would be great if, and what is I don't even believe this is possible yet. So we have a gauge of where we're working, but that bare minimum that you want out of this, what is worth that to you? What does that workload look like? Is it 30 minutes a day? Is it 2 hours a day? Because then you can appropriately identify your expectations. But when you actually like get to work, I think that every single person, no matter your goal in a business like this, we know that consistency or the compound effect is what pays off, right? One of my favorite quotes, Mike Patillo said it. I don't know from where. I can't take credit for it, but write this down, y'all. Consistent effort does not always equal consistent results, but it always equals success. Always. So identify what those best, your best practices look like on a daily basis, and y'all like nail them to the wall. Nail it to the wall. And if that's adding 5 new people a day and 5 messages a day, then feel really good about your 5 every single day instead of feeling overwhelmed and paralyzed by this goal that someone threw out here of 50. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that make sense to everybody? Because I think like we often hear these goals, right? And it's not, I do this as a leader. It's not in any attempt to scare people away, but like everyone's life is different. And your best is good enough in this business. Your best is good enough, but you have to know what it is. And then you have to be consistent with that. So identifying a 6 list that you feel good about, because if it's overwhelming, it will paralyze you in fear, and you won't do any of it. So start with a realistic goal, and then just nail it every single day. So for me, it's a basic 6 list. If life happens, if my daughter's sick, if it's Christmas Day, I mean, y'all might hate on me for that, but like it's about discipline. Discipline. I think it's John C. Maxwell. He says discipline is the bridge between a goal and success. And if you have to cross it, you have to cross it every single day. And I think that's where the unlock is.
That is gold.
John C. Maxwell said that, y'all. Like, it's not me. I'm just mad at quoting other people's quotes. One day I'll come up with something good on my own.
That's good stuff. All right. I threw in 2 other questions for you. So these are just kind of on the fly. But okay, so we have a lot of new team members. Like, we are straight up rocking and rolling with enrolling new team members. Okay. So for all of those newbies who are out here watching, like right now, what advice do you have for them? Right here, right now, what advice you got?
Okay, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a couple of things. First, grow your network. Okay. There's no business, not one in the world that would be successful only from your existing family and friends right now. Okay. Grow your network. Facebook allows you to get to 5,000, but do it with intention. Don't just add everybody. That's a Zoom for another day. But grow your network. Secondly, take action now. Don't wait to know everything. That's what your mentor, your upline, your sidelines, your enroller, whoever, they're there for. Don't wait to know everything, because guess what? You never will. And I hope I never do. But together, you have a team that knows a lot, and they'll be able to support you. So just take action. And then lastly, wherever your mindset is at right now, whether you're nervous, which I always tell people, you guys, if you're nervous, good. Stay nervous. It means you care. When you're not nervous, you don't care anymore. So be nervous. Use that. That's excitement. Let's channel it appropriately, and get it into action right away. Action is not your post, though. So get into conversations every single day. Last but not least, your worth is not measured in how many people like your post or respond to your friend request or comment on your pictures, okay? That's the devil playing with you in your mind in this business. Your worth is not measured. Let me say it again to the people in the back. And how many people like your post, okay? Your worth is measured, or let's say like your skill set is measured in this business by your best that you get to determine. So determine what that looks like right now, and then start developing your mindset for that. Last but not least, this is a Rachel Hollis quote. Told you I like to quote people. In the world that we live in today, with so much free information available to you, Google, YouTube, all forms of internet, the team pages, if you don't know what to do, your ignorance is a choice.
Oh.
It is a choice. So get resourceful. Don't ever allow something you don't know to keep you from taking action in this business, because you could go diamond in 39 days if you just light yourself on fire too.
So good. That's
all I would say.
Like, I hope somebody's taking notes. Like, or I'm just going to have to go back through and just like watch all of this, because it's so good. Oh, so good. Okay.
Raven is. She's showing us her notes. You go, girl.
Oh, good. Yes. Okay. Final question for the night. You knew that you were going to be on here. You knew I asked you to come on here. If there was anything that was laid on your heart, anything that you really feel led to share with those who are watching, what is that?
That you're worthy and able. I think at the end of the day, like, that's what it comes down to. You are worthy and you are able. That's all you need to know. And maybe that something is working. The products do work. So if you haven't tried them all yet, something is working. Don't worry about that. But you're worthy and able.
Yes. I love it. Lauren, you are so amazing. You're such an inspiration. I hope everybody on here tonight got so much advice and just inspiration from you. Guys, throw her some love out on Facebook world, on the team page, and just let her know just how much she inspired you, what her aha moments were. And just kind of keep an eye out for more of these to come very soon when we'll be interviewing some other amazing rock stars. So thank you guys for all tuning in, and we'll see you guys all soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Lauren.